We keep on saying this, but yet another dramatic day in court. Oscar Pistorius on the stand for the third day in a row. He continued where he left off yesterday after his very emotional breakdown on the stand, talking about how he tried to carry Reeva Steenkamp's body down the stairs. He battled to pick her up, eventually managing to take her downstairs, speaking about how he called Mr. Stander, one of the security people on the estate, and also the ambulance services. Eventually the paramedics arrived and they said that Reeva Steenkamp had in fact died. Mr. Pistorius told the court that he, at this point, went to the kitchen. He was desperate to wash his hands. He asked if he could wash the hands that had carried Reeva Steenkamp because the smell of blood was making him throw up. But of course, he was not allowed to do this. And with that testimony, it was then over to Gerrie Nel, the prosecutor, nicknamed the Bulldog. And true to form, he came out punching hard right from the beginning. Oscar Pistorius' emotional breakdown on the stand clearly had absolutely no effect on Nel. He just went straight for the jugular. The next step that Nel did was to introduce video footage of Pistorius at a firing range. It was a bit of a legal spat. Rue did not want this shown in court, but eventually it was allowed, and so they went ahead. The video footage shows Pistorius at a gun range. He's firing and a watermelon explodes, and then you hear Pistorius' voice laughing in the background.
It's a lot softer than brain, but it's like a zombie stopper.
Nel said initially, have you ever used the word zombie stopper, which Pistorius denied. Then of course the video showed that he had, trying to show that Pistorius is a liar. But more than that, he went on to say, this is exactly what you did to Reeva Steenkamp. This is exactly what you did to Reeva Steenkamp, forcing him to look at a picture of Reeva Steenkamp's shattered skull, which was actually shown on screens and in fact publicly on television cameras. I think that was a mistake. It was a gruesome picture. Pistorius refused to look.
Have a look there, mister. I know you don't want to because you don't want to take responsibility, but it's time that you look at it. Take responsibility for what you've done, Mr. Pistorius.
My lady, I've taken responsibility by me waiting and not wanting to live my life, but waiting for my time on this stand to tell my story for the respect of Reeva and for myself. I've taken responsibility, but I will not look at a picture where I'm tormented by what I saw and felt that night. As I picked Reeva up, my fingers touched her head. I remember. I don't have to look at a picture. I was there.
And after that breakdown again, court was adjourned for a brief while to allow him time to compose himself. Then, as is Gerrie Nel's custom, he changed tactics in the afternoon. So you had him going in hard and emotionally. This afternoon it was all about facts. He was testing inconsistencies in Oscar Pistorius' statement. Several came up. In his bail application, Oscar Pistorius said he went out onto the balcony to bring the fans in. Now he's saying he just brought the fans in. Nel says, have you changed? And he couldn't really answer that. Then he was asked, where did you plug the fans in? Pistorius couldn't remember. Eventually Nel got so fed up, he said, what you're trying to do, Pistorius, is to make up a version of events, to recreate, because basically you are not telling the truth. That is essentially what he was trying to say. And he said, I need you to stop thinking of the implications of your answers, because that is exactly what you're doing, he put to Oscar Pistorius. You are thinking of the implications. And then he added the punchline, Reeva Steenkamp is dead. She can no longer think of the implications.
But Reeva doesn't have a life anymore because of what you've done. She's not alive anymore. So please, listen to the questions and give us the truth. And not think of implications for you, Mr. Pistorius.
And shortly after that, court closed for the afternoon. Nel will continue this cross-examination tomorrow when he will focus on all these kinds of inconsistencies and once again try and bring Pistorius to breaking point. What he wants to do is to try and get him to snap on the stand.